Hello there. This is Dr. Mark DeBrinket, and this is for Kim Lacey. This is your brain map. It is January 6, 2020, actually, into a new decade. So let me go ahead and share the results. All right, so we did a actual 19 channel brain map. So we're going to build a 3D image of your brain's neurology from the white matter, which should all be gray here in this picture. And then the gray matter, which is all gray in this picture. And then the white matter is all the fibers and the tissues that make up all the subconscious stuff. So a lot more going on there, about 400 million pieces of data per second versus 2,000 pieces of data in your conscious thoughts. So we did a 19 channel brainwave. So we recorded 19 channels simultaneously. And with that, we were able to take that data and literally build a 3D image of your brain's neurology and find out what's actually happening. So this has nothing to do with subjective, with meaning you telling me symptoms of how you're feeling, and then I'm showing you what that looks like. This is showing you what you're actually doing neurologically, and then showing you what that means for you symptomatically and so forth. So basically we did a baseline map initially, and then we put the Vox HPT technology, human performance technology, on you and did another map. Now, I know you put the sleeve on and did a third map, but you have to wait more than 20 minutes in order to remap, in order to see the efficacy of what that's actually doing. And you didn't wait that long, and so it would just look confusing if I tried to share that with you. So we're just doing a comparison and what happens when we put on this technology. So initially, the whole frontal and temporal, a little bit of your parietal area of the brain was red, which means it's operating 4 times too fast. So you just have a lot going on in your mind, and you're probably able to process all of that. But ideally, you want to be able to calm that down. And as soon as you put our tech on, you can see that the cortex returns back to normal. So that's a tremendous amount of change. It happens very quickly. Then the next category is coherence. So these are the fibers that you use to send information to and from areas of your brain. And we need to share that information with the entire network in the brain. So when we see light blue, it means it's 2 times too slow, and dark blue is 4 times too slow. So ideally, we should see no fibers at all in a totally healthy, optimally functioning brain. And so I want to draw your attention to the back lower part of your brain. This is your cerebellum. This is all motor function. And so that's coordination, agility, how quickly you can move and your body follows and does what you want it to do. We see with the tech, almost the entire cerebellum is back online. So remember, if you saw no lines on the right at all, that would be ideal. So you went from a hot mess of lines over here to near none. So that's some significant change. We also see some more of the back thinning out, where we can see more transparency. We can see through the fibers. And so that's an improvement. Now, we are doing a long-term study, so the longer you wear this product, the more and more your brain will continue to come online. Then we look at not sharing information, but just raw information from point A to point B. How long does it take to get there? And in your case, the reason there's so much blue in the sharing, like there's coherence, that there's just not sharing fast enough, is not because there's decay and it's slowing down. It's because your brain's wide open, okay? There's so much information going on up here in the information flow department that it's confusing those nerves and making it share it slower because it can't decipher all the information. So imagine being in a crowded room with a lot of people and trying to listen to the one person in front of you, but you're missing so many words in the sentence. So it's kind of hard to follow and stay on top of the conversation. So again, we see a lot more of the front and back thin out and seem to calm down some. Now, when we shift gears here, and now we look at the purple dots, These dots make up Brodmann areas in the brain, and they make up networks. And so in this case, the default mode network is kind of like the foreman in charge of all other networks. It's really important that they keep pinging every network and say, hey, is the heart beating okay? All right, I'll be right back and check on you in a minute. How about the lungs? Are we breathing okay? All right, I'll be back and check on you in a moment. How about the anxiety network? Are you feeling okay? So forth. And so we see a lot more lines on the left. Here, again, the red lines is too fast communicating, confusing it, and the blue lines, it's too slow, getting impatient. And so I'd rather see all one color than both colors in one spectrum. So we can clearly see most of the dark blues are gone, the reds are gone, just a lot less lines on the right. So that default mode is operating a lot better when you're wearing the tech. Now your mood network, again, this regulates and controls how you're allowing yourself to feel, okay? Less lines, the better. We look at your pain network. Now, I don't know if you're living in pain, but you're sensitive to pain, and your ability to control that and departmentalize that is not optimized. We see lots of reds and lots of blues, so it can be unpredictable. Feel pain for reasons that you shouldn't, and then not feel pain when you think you would have hurt. Regardless, less lines, more yellow, got rid of the reds and blues. Now we change software basically, and we're looking at different aspects of that same data. So at nighttime, by wearing this tech, you're changing 19% towards normal, but during the day it's 43%. Now the average is 34 and 36%. So a little bit less at night, but more during the day, which is amazing in and of itself. So the first thing we look at is the gray matter again. So this is your conscious thoughts, why you're trying to sleep. Now the top row here is before we put the tech on, and then the bottom row is after we put the socks on you, or the patch, whichever one you did, okay? Now anything glowing in the bottom with a ring around it that's glowing, that means it'll be green, usually within the hour, but definitely within the day. So it's 1/10 away from that next major color change. Green is normal, red means it's too high, yellow means it's way too high. And the other side of that, light blue is too low, dark blue is way too low. So we see while you're sleeping, I see green, okay, so I know you actually sleep, okay? The little bits of reds and yellows around and in the front, that can make your mind stay active sometimes, and you're just trying to turn off and having a hard time. We didn't really see that change. Over here is some of the chatter, the ruminating of things in bed while you're trying to turn that off. Literally, we only seen a couple of those change. So not so much a big difference there, but during the day, again, not a whole lot of change. The blue in the back is short-term memory. This is ADD, okay? So you're thinking 20 things at a time, where an average person thinks 7. And so wear the tech long enough, it'll calm us down. If you put the eSmarter sleeve on and actually wait 20 minutes, we'd see this whole frontal yellow turn off, okay, and turn green, because that's exactly what that's designed to do. But for the most part, beta is what you're living in all day when you're active and doing and talking, and you're 99% green right there. So, so that's a very healthy brain even to begin with, other than you're processing a whole lot of stuff all the time. The next thing is our dominant frequency. Now, this is literally the most important part of the entire brain map. We don't want to see blue in here at all. Blue is bad. In fact, if that whole top row turns blue, that's strike one against you for dementia, Parkinson's, MS, Lou Gehrig's, any one of these neurodegenerative diseases. And so our goal is to get rid of this any way we can. Now, we have different nutrients that can help with that, different supplements that help with that. Neurofeedback definitely helps with that. We can do it aggressively and get rid of all of that in a month, or you wear the socks for about a year and most likely most of that will be gone. So again, this is telling us what your true potential is, what you're capable of doing, not what you're actually doing, but what you're capable of doing. And so the fact that the socks can even bring 3 green in here and 1 here and then calm all of those reds down, that's amazing in and of itself. You had 6 blue over here, you're down to 3. Now, prior to Vox coming into the picture, all the textbooks say to change this area, you have to have neuroplasticity happen, which didn't happen in the 7 seconds after you put the socks on. So they're actually putting new chapters into the textbook. Dr. Thatcher's the one that wrote that, because of this phenomena, the fact that Vox can actually change dominant frequency. Now, the other part of your dominant frequency is alpha. Alpha is going to be more metabolic, more detoxing ability. And again, we don't expect to see a lot of change with anything affecting this category, but certainly you were able to calm down a lot of those reds. Those are turning green. And then in here, some of the blues here, front and back, we also were able to bring green. So your body works better, it detoxes better with the tech on. Then we have interconnections, right to left brain. Now, why is that important? Well, when you're healing, you need to be able to communicate what's going on this side versus that side and help each other out. So at nighttime, we need those connections to be able to get into a deep sleep, stay in our deep sleep, and get the healing that we need. So you're only 15 out of 40 possible right to left brain connecting and turning green. So we see, like in the delta, you had this 2 sets of green that popped. But down here with the tech on, that turned to 5. So you literally went from 15 to 22 overall. But ideally, you want to be close to 40. Now, eyes open during the day, you're only at 11, and you jumped up to 15. Now, the good thing is what you jumped up to is the frontal cortex. And that right there, compared to blue up here, is, oh, let's go out to eat. What do you want? I don't know. I like that. But you know what? I like that too. Okay, that's called indecisiveness. I don't want that, but I don't really want that either. I don't care. You decide. Okay, that's indecisiveness. Now you're going to know what you know, want what you want, and that's it. Okay, it makes it really easy when that frontal brain connects right to left. And then we have one more category to talk about, and this is anxiety, depression, bipolar. What are we? Is there any aspect of that? So basically, inside this black box, we want everything red. Blue is bad. In fact, if the alpha side over here is all blue, that's depression. And if this side is all blue, that's anxiety. And if they're both all blue, that's a bipolar. So you're neither. However, a little bit of blue makes you a little anxious and restless. A little bit of blue over here makes you stressed and worried. Okay, and so to go from blue to red, it's a big change. People are like, wow, what did you just do to me? But to go from red to green, you're creating a longer fuse before things bother you. So in this case, a little bit of stress at night, a little bit of restlessness, didn't really brought a little longer fuse there, but we did take one of the 3 blue, turn it red and green, 2 steps forward. But now over here during the day, restless and anxious, feeling like you always have to do something. I got all these things going on, spinning lots of plates, no time to relax. There's just way too much going on. All 4 of those, you woke up with reserve, okay? So you can take one thing at a time and just give it your best and be okay with that. Over here, definitely stress and worry. It's still there. You took some of the red you already had and made them green. So that's it, Kim. Hope that helps understand what an amazing product it is, but also kind of where you're at brain-wise and how healthy your brain is, and then what we can do to help maintain that and keep it better. So stay tuned. If you have any questions about this, just give us an email. We'll be happy to connect. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye now.